Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay? Fantastic. Being a police department function, we're going to start on time. If you're not here yet, I apologize. Welcome. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you all for joining us here today to help the city of West Richland celebrate its new police facility. I'd like to thank the representatives from the West Richland City Council who are here today, as well as our area partners. These include the West Richland Chamber of Commerce, Benton REA, the Port of Kennewick, the Port of Benton, Benton County, Franklin County, the City of Kennewick, the City of Richland, the City of Prosser, the City of Pasco, Tri-Cities Regional Chamber of Commerce, Richland School District, Benton Fire District number 4, Washington State Department of Corrections, representatives from Alexander Farms, Chevrolet Construction, and Design West Architects. And if I just take a personal, my VIPs here today is my family from out of town, my brothers Tom and Hank, and my wife Cindy. There are many individuals to thank who made this building a reality, but frankly, there are just too many. This was truly a team effort. So in order to recognize those involved, please take an opportunity to view the PowerPoint presentation on the screens inside the building after the ribbon cutting. This project began 4 years ago, just as an idea. The questions of the need of a new facility, how big, how much, and where to obtain the funding were to be evaluated by an independent citizens committee, and this committee was called the Police Facility Assessment Committee, headed by West Richland resident John Worski, and through a needs assessment conducted by Integris Architecture. The recommendations from both the Citizens Committee and Integris Architecture was for a facility approximately 22,500 square feet in size at a projected cost of $12.5 million. And this was recommended to be raised through a voter-approved bond. These recommendations were presented to City Council on June of 2018. City Council approved the timeline in July of 2018 for the issue to go before voters on April 23rd, 2019. Over the following 9 months, the city embarked on a factual information campaign to educate the voters on the issue, and at the same time, an independent group of West Richland citizens formed a group, Back Our Blue, advocating for passage of the proposed bond. Although the vast majority of citizens agreed with the need for a new facility, there was disagreement on the proposed size and cost, and a healthy debate existed on this issue leading to the vote. Also during this time, the City Council held a series of meetings to review the ballot title and language before presenting election resolution to the county auditor February 2019. I would be remiss if I did not mention former West Richland Police Chief Mike Noske, who passed away January 1st, 2019, in the middle of the bond and community education process. Mike Noske had been police chief for the city of West Richland from 1986 to 1999. He had advocated for a new police facility as a police chief and spoke to this need at all of our informational town halls up until the day of his death, January 1st, 2019. On April 23rd, 2019, a public vote was held and the police facility bond passed with over 61% approval from West Richland voters. 4 years later, here we are, standing in front of the result of the hard work and dedication of many. I would now like to introduce one of those people who were instrumental in making this happen. City of West Richland Public Works Director, Bosco Slade.
Thank you, Chief. So Chief did all the heavy lifting the first 2 years, getting the levy and the bond passed for this $12.5 million facility. The next step was the design and construction of the facility. And one of the first things that the Chief and I did was go meet with the mayor and each of the city council members and ask them to define how you would say this was a successful project. And there was 5 things that came out of those meetings that was a common theory. Completed on time, completed on budget, make the facility welcoming to the public, make sure the citizens get what they voted for, and most importantly, meets the demands, the needs of our police department for today and in the future. Big undertaking. So one of the first things we did, this is one of the biggest projects. I've been in the city 23 years. This is the biggest project the city of West Richland during my tenure has undertaken. Previous to that was a wastewater treatment plant back in 2008 that was $8 million. So $12.5 million is a big project for the city of West Richland. And so we leaned on some of our co-workers, friends at the city of Richland and asked them about their recently completed City Hall building and what made that a successful project. And I want to thank Joe Shishel and Darren Sweeney, employees of the city of Richland. They spent time with us, and basically what was a common answer was, it's how you deliver the project through this method called progressive design build, something the city's never taken on. Progressive design build is a comprehensive process including planning, programming, design, construction, with consideration for maintenance and operation. It basically brings your architect, your general contractor, and city staff together at the beginning of the project to work together on a common goal. There are 4 main principles in progressive design build. First being selecting a qualified team. And I'm going to take a minute just to call out a few of these. These are the people that we worked over the last 2 years from design until what you have before you. Becky Blankenship with Hill International. I didn't see Becky in the thing, but Hill International, we've never gone through this process, so Hill International helped us make sure we were following all the processes and paperwork and getting certified to go through this at the state level. Brandon Mayfield with Sherville Construction, your team, our general contractor, great contractor to work all the way through. Brandon Will with Design West and his team, thank you. They're the architect firm, and they brought on a specialty architect trainer. I think they're out of St. Louis, Missouri, with Jeff Lane, and it's a firm that does basically police station. So they brought a national level perspective into our region. And then the City of West Richland team, again made up of Chief Majetic, myself, Elka Gilliam, Will McNeil, and Andrew Woodruff, our city engineer out front here. He's the one that did the majority of the heavy lifting. He's our detail guy. He's the one that makes sure everything is on task and on budget. So when you get back to the main principles, number 2 is letting the design builders, your architect and your general contractor, use their experience to develop design solutions. Weigh price, bullet 3, weigh price significantly less than non-price factors. And most importantly, number 4, seek the best value solutions, such as energy efficiency, durability, sustainability, and ease of maintenance. So as we take on this project, it took us 4 months to select the design build team, a month to execute the phase 1 contract, 7 months to get an 80% design point where we can sign a guaranteed maximum price, and then 12 months of construction. Makes up the 2-year time period. I'd be remiss to tell you that the 2 years of design and construction was not without its challenges. One of them came early. You all recall March 23rd of 2020, in the middle of selecting the design build contractor and architect team, Governor Inslee issued Proclamation 2025, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, order to respond to the COVID pandemic. Kind of a gut blow. You know, look back at traits of a great leader. And a great leader is somebody that can make tough decisions during crisis. It was a crisis. We had a lot of discussion at the city. What's the next steps? What's the priorities? You know, providing potable water, top of the list. Treating sewage, police services. One of the other ones was completing this police facility. And Mayor Gary, shortly after Inslee's proclamation, designated this new police facility project as critical infrastructure, and as such, workers who supported the design and construction of this project were considered essential critical infrastructure workers. That designation by the mayor allowed the facility design to continue. It got the design team very proficient in the use of Zoom, and more importantly, we avoided current price spikes in building materials and availability of those materials. We avoided that. To summarize, was the West Richland Police Facility a success? I can tell you today we're ahead of schedule. We're under budget. You'll find out in a minute how welcoming this facility is when you do the tour. Did the citizens get what they voted for? Again, I'll leave that up to you. I believe they did, and more. And most importantly, did it meet the police department's current and future needs? The chief and officers will be given tours after the ribbon cutting and the reception. Ask them directly. I think you'll know what the answer is going to be. Thank you. So now I'm going to introduce Mayor Brett Gary.
Thank you, Mr. Slade. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, everyone, for coming this afternoon. Oh, this morning. Doing somewhere. Is that time, May? Perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of our community and how we got here today. So I'm going to tell a story. It's kind of a little off script of what all these guys are doing, but it's relevant to what you see here today. When I was elected to the City Council in 2010, along with our new mayor, Don Anoski, through our leadership of the council, we developed strategic focus areas with goals and objectives. To develop this foundation, to see what we wanted our city to look like in 20 years. It's a lot of long weekends, every other Tuesdays, but well worth the input. With that foundation in place, it's been an honor over the last 8 years to lead the City Council and our staff to the brick and mortar you see before you today. Mayor Noski's leadership is what brought this through the development of that foundation. New schools, Richland School District Administration, Teaching and Learning Center right up the street, Yakima River Gateway Project, which kicked off in Mayor Janoski's tenure down at the Van Giesen entrance to the city, Yellowstone Trail Community Garden, along with our new residential development with single family and multi-family housing, as you can see being moved and happening right on the back of the hill and over the top of Kennedy, or Keene. That single family dwellings and multifamily is something that the city desperately needs. Rooftops, daytime car count, spurs economic development opportunities. These are exactly what we need with the commercial construction now and many, many more commercial constructions to come in the future that will help bolster our general fund. I've always said, you can build a city on permits, but you cannot maintain a city on building permits. Which comes back to the foundation we have built on and what we want our city to look like in 20 years. It's important to me to give all of our city employees the best work environment possible, as well as our West Richland residents to have facilities that they're proud of. And in just 8 years, we've done that. With the new municipal services facility just up the street that houses all of our offices, and our public works individuals that make our city pretty and keep the streets clean, and when you flush it goes away and the water comes out the spigot, as Roscoe would always say. So I'm very proud of what we've done in 8 years, and it wouldn't be without the foundation of Mayor Noski that gave me the opportunity to lead to get to this particular point. So just after the ribbon cutting, Donna, I'm going to ask if you'd come up here and join me for just a second. And after we're done with the ribbon cutting, Donna and I are going to go in. Got something to share with her. Give me a couple of minutes, and then we'll begin the tours. With that, I'll turn it back over to Chief Majetic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, so the moment's finally come. I know out here in Shivering, we really appreciate your patience. Immediately after the ribbon cutting, we invite everybody inside. We have refreshments and tours will be offered in the facility. We're very excited to show it off, and we hope you take advantage of the opportunity. So if I would like to have the council members step forward. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, everybody come on up here. Ready to go? You got your clickets ready? Back when we had cameras, they used to click it. I was at Disney World one time, this gal was looking at us and I said, did you click it yet? So get ready to click it. On the count of 3. 1,